Alrighty, now that we are ready to learn, I have a surprise for you guys today about our read aloud. You guys know that we read 4 books so far this week. We read Back to School, The Bernstein Bears, we read Me, Frida, and we read Gabby, Wonder Girl, as well as How to Write an Email. And all of those books came from Epic, which is what we are learning to use today. So if you liked those books and you saw how I got to click to turn the page, today is going to be your chance to try it by yourself. So I'm going to show you guys really quick what my library looks like so that you will be able to listen to a story, answer questions, and pick your own in your library. So if I go to my Epic account, which you guys will get to make your own today, I have a section that looks like this that is called My Library. So if you guys see over here, there's a heart that says My Library, and it also says My Library right here. Anytime that you find a book in Epic, you can click the heart button and it's automatically going to go into My Library. So when you click My Library, they're saved. And you guys can see that we have all the books saved that we read this week because I put them in my library by clicking that little heart. Before I show you how to do that on yours, we're going to read another story today. And I think you guys will really like this one because it's called Winged Wonders. So when you're in your library, you're going to click the book just like you guys have seen me do all week. And it's going to open up like this. Now, I don't know why that's on the wrong page. But okay, so this is the first page. We see here the title as well as the author. So I'm going to read you the title and the author, and then we are going to listen to the story. You guys can also see there at the bottom that it says favorite with a little red heart. If the heart is not red, that means that you did not click favorite. So if you want to save something as your favorite, when you look in your library and start to read it like this, the heart will be red. But we're going to go ahead and start reading Winged Wonders, Solving the Monarch Migration Mystery by Meg Pincus and illustrated by Yaz Inamura. Now, if you guys see, sometimes when I move my mouse around, the words pop up. So let's click the words in the title and see what happens.
Wing.
Wing. So you guys see when we click the word winged, it pops up. So when you're reading a book in Epic, if you want to know how to say a word or what that word means, you can click on some of them and it will show you. So we know winged, if we click the speaker button again,
Wing.
is when you read it, you say winged.
Wing.
And it tells you with the noun and the verb. It tells you what that word means. So winged is a noun, one of the movable feathers or membranous paired appendages by means of which a bird, bat, or insect flies. Oh my goodness, that sounds like so many big science words. All that means is that a wing is a noun when it is attached to a bird, bat, or insect that flies. So we're going to read about a winged animal. You guys already saw in the title that it's a butterfly. So we're going to go ahead and read about these winged wonders. And you guys notice how some of those words pop up while I'm reading. That means we can click. For centuries, up and down North America, every year brought a mystery. Monarch butterflies swooped in for a spell like clockwork from somewhere beyond, then disappeared as curiously as they came. Where do they go? People pondered. From southern Canada, pondered means to wonder, through the middle of the United States and all the way to central Mexico. So we know that our where in the story is Canada, the United States, and Mexico. In 1976, the world finally learned the answer with a groundbreaking discovery, a one-of-a-kind insect journey, a remote roosting place, a small speck on the map where millions of monarchs are drawn like magnets each winter. So we already see the monarchs in the illustration or in the picture, how they all come together just like magnets. The Great Monarch Migration, the news story called it. So who solved this age-old mystery? Who tracked these winged wonders from the end of the continent to the other? Who found their secret roosting place, a marvel of nature? So now our question is who? Who solved the mystery of where all those butterflies go? Was it Fred, the Canadian scientist, who spent 30 years studying the monarch mystery from his university lab? Who drove through the United States with Nora, his research partner wife, like detectives trying to track the cagey creature's migration from Canada southward? Who tagged monarchs' fragile wings, first with paint that faded, then with labels that plopped to the ground when wet, and finally with price tags that stuck? So was it Fred who solved the mystery? We see Fred was tracking them, and he used lots of different things like paint and labels and tags that would pop off when they get wet. So we see a picture in the illustration of Fred and his wife trying to track those monarchs. Was it Nora, master organizer of the monarch material they collected, who placed ads in newspapers near and far, seeking ordinary people to help by tagging monarch wings in their hometowns, who wrote newsletters and kept in touch with all those volunteers, who logged and mapped every tidbit of information they sent into the lab? So Nora was working on organizing. She wanted to tell people that they were trying to track the monarchs, so she would put newsletters, just like we used to have at school, in the newspaper saying, hey, if you see a monarch in your hometown, let us know. Was it those dozens, then hundreds, then thousands of science teachers, backyard gardeners, and other curious souls who answered Nora's ads and became citizen scientists, who gently caught, tagged, and released the delicate dancing insects to help solve the migration mystery? So we see how people in the community started to help Nora by reading her ad and trying to help her know where those butterflies are going. Was it Ken, the American adventurer, who spotted Nora's ad in a Mexico City newspaper while visiting there, who called her in Canada and agreed to follow the monarchs through Mexico, where he didn't speak the language, who bumped along the winding roads with his newlywed wife, Catalina, for nearly 2 years, trying to track the butterflies' twisting trail? Wow, so Ken didn't speak the language, but he was brave, and he went down and followed them all the way down to Mexico, following their trail. Or was it the villagers and farmers of central Mexico who directed the couple to look higher, higher, up into the thin air of the volcanic mountains and their Oyamel tree groves, who for generations welcomed the monarchs as soaring spirits during autumn Dia de los Muertos celebrations, who held the whispered whereabouts of their winter roosting place? So we have a clue here about where the monarchs are going. We see them here in Mexico in autumn or fall for the Dia de los Muertos celebration. But after fall comes winter, and the butterflies migrate or leave in the winter. So where do they go after? Was it Catalina, born and raised in Mexico, who introduced Ken to their beloved monarchs? Who spoke with the locals in their Spanish dialect to guide their search? Who kept 40 notebooks of meticulous monarch data? Who first crunched through early morning snow, high in the Sierra Madre Mountains and in Oyamel Grove, exclaimed, I see them! I see them! Up there! So she exclaimed, so that means she shouted, I see them, because they've been looking for them. It's winter now, and they're looking to find the butterflies. Was it Jim, the American science teacher, who with his students attached teeny tags to the tiny wings, who caught and tagged the very monarch in a Minnesota goldenrod field that Fred later found among millions in a Mexican Oya mangrove. So this teacher tagged this little butterfly. You guys see the tag on the wing in the picture? And the butterfly gave Fred the proof he needed, that one teeny tag to announce the discovery of the great monarch migration. Yes, the answer is yes. All of them, the scientists, the citizen scientists, the regular folks along the way played a part in this discovery. Each person, in small ways or large, helped answer the century-old question, where do they go? And now we know. Each year, millions of monarchs fly the same path generation after generation, from southern Canada through the United States to roost for their winter in central Mexico's mountains. So now we know that in the winter, the butterflies start in Canada, and then by the time winter comes, they're all the way in the mountains in Mexico. Then they journey north again, feasting on milkweed plants along the way. However, today there's a new burning monarch question to be answered. How will they survive? Monarchs' numbers have plummeted. If their numbers have plummeted, that means that they have gone down. We have less monarchs since the 1976 discovery. From at least a billion down to millions, a handful now to each 100 then. Chemical sprays destroyed their milkweed plants, and we remember that's what they eat. So the chemicals hurt what they eat. Logging and farming threaten their Oya mangroves. Pollution disrupts the air and weather for their flights. So who can make a difference for the monarchs? Who can make a difference for the monarchs today? Who can preserve their landing spots and airstreams? Who can keep them alive? The answer is actually not a mystery at all. So if you guys are thinking, who can help them now? If their trees are being cut down, if they're not having any more food to eat, who can help them? And here are some steps for you to help them. So if you want to read about what you can do, about some ideas, you can raise, tag, or report monarchs you see. You can plant native milkweed, which is the plant that they eat, and even more. This was a fun book to read about butterflies, and it asks you lots of questions. So now once you're done reading that book, you're going to click the X at the top, and we're back in our library. So make sure you watch the next video to see how you are going to make your own library.